Hello and welcome to this very special broadcast. I'm Shreya Upadhyaya. On the show today, we are joined by some very special people. The cast and director of the film Dono join me on the broadcast. The film is releasing on 5th of October, and this is a film that talks about romance, but nothing that you've seen in Bollywood movies so far. I'm joined by the director of Dono, Avnish Barjatya. Paloma Dhillon and Rajveer Deol also join us. They are the lead actor and actresses of the film. And along with them, I'm also joined by two legends of the Indian film industry, Sooraj Barjatya ji and Sunny Deol ji. Welcome to all of you on the broadcast. Let's first talk about the film, Avnish, Paloma and Rajveer. This film talks about romance, but Avnish, you've said this, that it also talks about closure. What is the film about? Why is it talking about closure?
Dono as a film is, it's a film that's based at a destination wedding, two strangers that meet at this one wedding and they realize that they're looking for the same thing in life. Both of them are stuck somewhere. The lead character Dev, played by Rajveer, he's come to this wedding. It's his best friend's wedding, the jo dulhan hai, but secretly he's been in love with her for 10 years. He's never told her that. And he's come here not to break up the wedding, but he's come here because he knows that the only way to move on is to come here and face the truth. He's looking for closure. Similarly, we have Meghna, played by Paloma, who's just gotten out of a long relationship herself and has to deal with moving on from that relationship as well. How these two strangers come together and find their stories intertwining with one another as they're searching for that closure. That's what our film's all about.
I think it's very interesting, you know, guys, Paloma and Rajveer, did you resonate with this thought? Because the kind of times we live in, we've seen Bollywood movies earlier talk about boy meet girl, they fall in love, perhaps their families don't agree with it, and then the fight happens and it eventually ends in marriage. But this film is talking about something that we've all gone through at some point in our lives, isn't it?
Definitely.
Paloma?
I think closure can be gotten in so many different ways and in so many different situations. It could be, you know, whether you are working and you're waiting for that call back talking about, okay, you've got the job, or whether it could be you apply to a university and you get that call that you've been accepted, or of course in our film, like relationships. So I think it's a very personal thing. I think our film talks about accepting a lot of things that you have to go through personally. You have to reflect on certain things. You have to have that introspection. And then, of course, once you accept it, you can then move on from it. So that's what we talk about. And those are things, as youngsters, we can relate to, yeah.
Rajveer, for you, you know, when you heard the script for the first time, and this is, of course, your debut film for all three of you as director and as the leads, did you know, what was the first thought that came to your mind when you heard the script? Did you think that, oh, you know, this is something that a lot of youngsters would resonate with, and in fact, I've also gone through this at some point in my life?
Definitely. When I heard the script for the first time, I was taken back at how there's no similarities to any other, you know, commercial Bollywood movie. And even the character Dave, I sort of looked at him as the anti-hero, as a non-charismatic leading man in the movie. I've never seen that in so many Bollywood movies. And obviously the main theme of a movie being closure, I found that highly unique. And that really drawn me to this project.
Yeah, but were you, was there any afterthought when you agreed with the film saying, you know, like you said, that Dev is the anti-hero, he's not the quintessential Bollywood hero, romantic chocolate boy that we've seen so far. Did you have an afterthought thinking that, oh, you know, perhaps I should have started with something more romantic and something that, you know, Bollywood has seen so far?
Definitely not. No. In fact, I wanted to make him the complete opposite, and Avnish is like, you can't make him so depressing, Rajveer. I wanted to become really thin or gain weight also. Because I felt like this character had that insecurity in him. But Avnish is like, no, Rajveer, it's not that type of movie. Still need a little hero element.
To his credit, insecurities are in all of us. It's a part of our lives. So for him to bring that across in his character, I think was just, you know, something that could have gone, right? With your script?
Absolutely, and Rajveer has brought a lot of that, you know. There are the elements of we actually wanted to challenge the idea of heroism in itself. You know, when I first was talking to Rajveer, I said that the film wants to basically say that the hero is not the one who beats up the villain. The hero is not the one who saves the girl. The hero is the one who is a good person. You know, and that goodness is the inherent quality that every hero does possess. And the insecurities get in the way of us looking at ourselves, at our own heroism. And that was a theme that I felt Rajveer just had inherently within him. So, but you know, obviously it would be gross injustice of mine if I were to ask Rajveer to not be him, because his screen presence is so electric. So I think as a director, I knew I wanted to ensure that that screen presence shines perfectly on.
But as
on
a
screen.
director, Avnish, did you also never have that thought that, you know, I'm portraying a character which has not been so far experimented with in Bollywood, the anti-hero, as Rajveer said, and the fact that, you know, he is as human as all of us are. Didn't you have that afterthought that perhaps, you know, I'm just playing with something risky here when it comes to Bollywood?
I don't think I ever saw it as risky. I definitely saw it as unique. You know, I think today content at all, not just at the cinematic medium, but also with OTT and television, there is so many great characters out there, and the audience has the ability to enjoy all these different characters and great characters. How can we make our character stand out? And not just stand out, but also also have our character empathize and earn the empathy of all the viewers. I think today with a millennial generation, with Generation Z and with Alpha and whatever, I think that people are so much more attuned to their insecurities and their vulnerabilities. So to have a hero that isn't shy of talking about it, I think that is something that I hope people will connect with and makes it unique.
Yeah, I'm sure they will not shy of talking about it, not shy of working on himself and evolving as a better person. And I love the fact that today on the broadcast I have with me the young, the latest, the new of the Bollywood, and I have people who've had the experience of the Indian film industry. They're legends in their own right. I mean, we've all grown up watching your movies, and I'm sure you've heard that a lot, but well, it is what it is. We have grown up watching your movies and loving you. Mr. Barjatya, Avnish, your son, directed his first movie, and you're somebody who's known for making films like Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, so much romance, so much of, you know, the same boy meets girl, and we've loved, we still dance to those songs, Mai Ni Mai and, you know, Didi Tera Devar Divana. But for you as a father, was it a strange feeling when your son comes up to you and says, I want to be a director, and this is my script, where the hero is not your quintessential Bollywood hero, and this is a unique script I'm coming up with for my first film?
Actually, the only tip I gave him when he told me he wants to direct is, I asked him, what do you want to say in the film? And then he came across with this concept, it took me 2 times to understand, because this is not my world. Because when he told me it's about this boy played by Rajveer and Paloma who will meet and who will help each other find closure. So the only thing I asked him is, when do they fall in love? And he said they will gradually, because we have been brought up, you know, ladka ladki will meet and they'll fall in love. So he said they fall, that's a process. And I was so happy when he kept narrating that this is a boy, this is my son wanting to make a fresh film, a fresh take on today's generation, which is different from mine. So I'm so happy and proud that we have at Rashtriya, we have an opportunity to grow further and to take cinema beyond what I have made till now.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you're so open to it. You know, I heard somewhere you saying that agar wo bhi wahi karega, to fir what's the difference between him and me if he's going to make the same kind of movies that I have been making? And I love that fact, because as a parent, Avnish, when you get that space from your parent who's already been in the field, who's a legend in his own field, it really comes very easily, right? It's such a big relief to have your father support you in this kind of a way.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. I've been very fortunate, obviously, you know, to have learned everything that I have from my father, and also to get that kind of confidence from him. You know, he's always said that a director has to follow his own instincts, and I've seen him follow his instincts throughout his whole career. I've seen people doubt his choice of subjects, you know, doubt whether the kind of cinema he makes will stay relevant, but every time he just keeps proving everyone wrong. And he said that the only reason he's been successful and he's had the career he's had is because he's trusted his instincts always. And that's what he told me to do as well. And when I have such, you know, the faith that he's placed in me, I couldn't have asked for anything more.
And talking about instincts, Mr. Deol is here. Your son is doing his debut movie. He's playing an anti-hero, as he says. What was the first thought that came to your mind when he said that, I want to be an actor?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's been in the. We've all been. I mean, we all live together, and one knows कि बच्चा क्या कर रहा है, क्या बनने वाला है, क्या हो रहा है. So I could see from beginning only, and he loves cinema, and he used to watch a lot of cinema. And then again, he was into the field of. I remember going to him attending, doing some place in the school as well, and I remember him seeing, doing certain characters over there. So I knew my child wants to go over there, and I always feel that whatever the child wants to do is where you should let them go, because it's best to let them do what they are comfortable and happy with, rather than force them to do something else. So I was very happy about it, but then at the same time, obviously, you know, our industry is such a place, our work field is such a space where, you know, there's so much of harshness, you know, over there, that you have to fight that all, and you have to stand there over there, in spite of all the things which are tsunamis which are thrown across over to you.
Yeah, but you know, Rajveer, you know, all through these years, you've seen your father, you've seen your grandfather go through the ups and downs of life. Was it not helpful for, in fact, the both of you, Paloma as well, for being, you know, from families that have a filmy background, that are into movies, to understand that it's not always an up, up, up. It's not always all stardom and fame and all the accolades that you get. There are also huge, big challenges that you go through, not just every Friday, but daily in your lives.
Definitely, you get the sense of that not everything's a high. There has to be a low, otherwise that's not reality. Also, they showed me patience. They showed me strong will. They showed me you got to have a tough back. You got to have a thick skin, because you know what, now we live in a day that anyone can get trolled. They also showed me how consistency is important, how your work ethic has to be really, really good, because I mean, there's such great talent out there. And to survive in this great field of talent, you yourself have to have such a, you know, such a hard work ethic just to keep up.
Paloma, for you as well?
You know, I feel I'm very lucky to get so much awareness about our industry from my parents. They've experienced so much. They've been able to provide us with that kind of knowledge and advice whenever we needed that. So having that, of course, it's our individual journeys. I do feel like we have to go through whatever we face, and it's something for us to take as each day as it comes. But having that, you know, support from them means everything.
You know, on the set, when you guys were filming this movie, I'm sure there was a lot of young energy. All of you, the director is young, the leads are young, everybody is a young team. You know, take us through some nice, fun experiences that you guys had. Was anybody playing pranks on each other? Was there learning? What kind of learnings did you have from each other, Avnish?
The entire film was an incredible learning experience for all three of us, and I'm so grateful that I had a chance to share it with them. We faced a lot of delays because of COVID, and I think that just bonded us together even more, because it gave us more time to keep working on each scene in detail. On set in itself, I think I was a bit more, I was the one who probably took myself the most seriously, and I think they sort of had to bandy along with that. But it was incredible. We had this great young cast, obviously Rajveer and Paloma, but some other great newcomers in our film. And I think every day, every scene became a great space of spontaneity, became a great space to improvise, and we had so much fun exploring these characters. You know, what director wouldn't want actors that are so committed to every layer of the character and every aspect of the script. So I think that experience was incredible for me.
Yeah, and I love the song Khamma Ghani. Oh. I must tell you, I love it. I've been like dancing to it here and there around my house. So thank you for that. And of course, the promo looks great. But Paloma, you did not want to be an actress in the first place. And correct me if I'm wrong, you wanted to be a professional football player. Am I right?
You're right. I did have that phase where I wanted to take up football professionally. And I also wanted to be a vet. I actually loved playing sports. Throughout my school years, I was very athletic and very inclined to sports. So it was something that I thought I would eventually do. But I did act for the first time in college. That was my first interaction with acting. And I loved it so much. I thought that it's another passion of mine that I've just kind of experienced. And I wanted to explore that more. And that's how it sort of started.
And Rajveer, for you? you've been seeing your dad, your grandfather. Was it always a natural choice, or did you have other ambitions as well?
I think subconsciously as a kid you see your whole family go through this, so you just think this is the only way. As a kid you want to do so many things. Seeing dad's movie growing up, I wanted to go join the army.
I think a lot of us did. Not just you, a lot of us wanted to pick up and yell at the border and fight for the
and
country.
I've met people who actually have joined the army because of that. I used to play a lot of basketball. I wanted to be an NBA player. Then I was a bit of a geek. I used to play a lot of video games. I wanted to do something around video games, but acting always stayed with me. I remember first time I chose theatre in 10th grade. I was frightened because I was a very quiet kid, but that helped me gain a little bit self-confidence in me. And then after that I did numerous numbers of workshops. I went abroad, I did training there. So I guess everything else has disappeared from my subconscious and acting was only left.
Yeah, the filmy Kida,
Yes.
when it bites you, I think we all know we're a cinema-loving nation. But Mr. Barjatya, he talked about how filmmaking was fun and they went to workshops for that. At your time, was all this there for both of you? How is it different?
It was never there. Now also when I work, I don't do any workshops.
See, yeah, that's the evolution that the industry has
सनी जी
seen.
अगर आप याद हो हमारी तो स्क्रिप्ट भी नहीं होती थी.
Yeah.
हम लोग तो 20 minutes we used to go to an actor, narrate ऐसे picture है. But when I was on the set, but the energy of these 3 children was so good, and during the pandemic, I saw them doing workshops and going through lines and going through layers, and I realized that this is the way to go. I would have done it earlier because हमें लगता था कि नकली लगेगा, वहीं जाके fresh करें कुछ. But today the characters of these youngsters are also much more layered. सनी जी हमारे time पे good boy, good girl, like you said, father was bad, mother was kind.
Yeah.
Those were the kind of films we used to do.
No hero at your time will come out and say, listen, I have an insecurity and I'm working on myself and I'm evolving. Nobody's talking about that.
I was surprised. Avnish came up with this, with that teaser, and he says, I'll start first with, हम इतना rejection से डरते क्यों हैं?
Yeah, I love that line, by the way, in the promo.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad, because I thought is this the way to start? Shouldn't we start with how beautiful these waves are? No.
Yeah.
So I think it's their world, and we must.
But did you two have any of that, that moment when you said that नहीं ये ठीक नहीं कर रहा है, let me just go and just correct this a little bit?
I was not on the set, Suraj was there, but I don't think that's the way anything functions. जब सिनेमा बन रहा होता है तो it's a vision of the director, और जैसे director चाहता है वैसे ही होना चाहिए, and I think the actors also follow in that same parameter, and that's how a good cinema is made basically. और आजकल तो अच्छा है because Avnish is there and they all are listening and all, but I see so many places that directors just sitting there and everybody is taking over the thing, and when we came in young, I remember that time our directors were so strong and so like that कि सब डरते थे उनसे, because that's how you were put into discipline.
Were you guys scared of Avnish on the set?
We never wanted to disappoint him.
Yes.
We never wanted Avnish to get disappointed. We always wanted our director to get happy of us.
Yeah. Okay, but what aspirations and what dreams from here on? Avnish, what are the kind of movies that you want to take? You also talked about OTT, and that has really democratized filmmaking, acting, all of these things. How do you plan to take this forward in an era where OTT is also seeing a lot of good content coming up?
I think we are past that stage where anyone can have any illusions about cinema being above any other kind of medium. OTT and television, they've proven that in terms of cinema, in terms of art and quality of art, it's right up there with cinema. So I think that wherever we get a chance to showcase any kind of content, I think it's incredible. Yes, there is such a great diversity of content out there, but I think that makes it best for the audience, you know, so they can pick and choose what they'd like to make. Also, the experimentation with subjects, like, you know, you said, you know, we have a hero that isn't a typical hero, or a heroine that isn't a typical heroine character. I think today is a time when we can actually have stories about these characters and not try and go for the typical stock characters that probably worked, earlier, and a director may have had to curb his vision or her vision, to sort of fit into those molds. It's a great time to be making content, and I'm so excited that, you know, that we've had this opportunity to start, and hope to say many more stories in the future.
Well, Paloma and Rajveer, as actors, as people who are in front of the camera, are you nervous of being typecast, or are you out there telling directors that, okay, listen, we're open to experimentation, and you can make us do anything that you want on camera? Paloma?
I'm very excited about actually exploring a lot of genres. I want to work with so many directors. I can't even make a list of how many people. And yeah, just very excited now to work and get opportunities to show and prove myself.
Yeah, Rajveer?
I want to play so many characters. I just want to do everything. Being a newcomer, you don't want to get typecast. You want to really, really see how far you can, take your skills to, and what characters you can be. And when people ask me, your dad's got this style, your dada's got this, your chacha, I just tell them I want to be invisible. I want to be a person with no style or nothing, a chameleon. So hopefully that happens.
Do you guys want to experiment with horror? I think in India we see very less horror genre.
Why not?
I would love to see our lead actors and actresses become ghosts and scare us all in theatres. But for both of you, not just the three of them, but a lot of youngsters want to come into the Indian film industry as directors, as actors, as various, technicians. What would you like to say to them today, now that the time and content in filmmaking has changed and evolved so much? Mr. Barjatya?
The one main thing which I would like to tell all the youngsters, especially young directors, I find, a lot of them who come, they are very much concerned with the first day collections and what will happen the first weekend. And I really want to tell them that it's not, cinema is not about that. First, concentrate on your mixing, on your sound, on your picture, on your DI, because it's only that which is going to take you far. Yeah. You're not here to get the first day, second day. A lot of directors don't come into post-production, they shoot and they go to marketing. So that's one thing I want to tell them. The cinema is about creation. It's about storytelling. It's not about selling.
Yeah. Mr. Deol?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunities now. The whole world has evolved, and earlier on there was just cinema, which was just a silver screen, and then so many new formats have come out, and everyone is progressing in such a way. That's why the film's genres are changing. We are talking about romance, but the format of romance is changing. We're talking about action. The format of everything is changing. So everything is evolving, and I think all these formats which are there are very good, because it gives an opportunity for everybody to showcase themselves and to come out. They don't have to just go for the silver screen. They could go anywhere, and they could be picked up from anywhere as long as they have talent. My only request to everybody is, talent is something which is there with you. You can polish it, but you can't learn talent. Okay? And besides that, just making bodies and dancing or doing all the other things, that is not talent. That is a part of your things which are required for you as when you're portraying your characters. So, and even the directors, again, we stick to the story writers and the directors, and the music and everything is getting so much like fast food, and, picked up from here, picked up from there, picked up from here. Throw that all away. I mean, हम लोग कह रहे हैं हमारे पास script नहीं होती थी, but that cinema is still so relevant today.
Yeah.
Why did we do? How is it so relevant today? Because there was talent in it. There was depth of everything in it. So you need that depth and things to be there, and that is what has to be brought out, and believe in yourself. Like Avnish has brought out a believe in himself. Both the kids have brought out what they believe. They're not wanting to be just because आजकल ऐसा है तो मैं ऐसा actor बनूंगा, वो सोचिए मैं ऐसी बनूंगी. That's not the way it is. That's why I'm so happy when they narrated me the subject. I've been all out for this film, and I've seen the film, so I know what it is. I love it. And I just hope.
All of us will watch it on the 5th of October. And clearly, content is king. Best of luck to all of you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sooraj Barjatya, Sunny Deol ji, Rajveer, Paloma, and Avnish. Thank you very much for joining us on Times Network and sharing with us your beautiful experience of filming the film Dono. With that, it's a wrap in this broadcast. But of course, on Times Network, news and updates will continue. Thank you very much for joining us right now. Bye-bye.